Hey, welcome everybody. We are so excited for you to be here on the first week that we're diving into our 5 pillars study. This is designed to be a foundational group exploration so that you really feel like you've got all of the basics down pat. So I don't care if you're brand new to Young Living. If you are, woo woo, high five for being here. Or if you're a seasoned veteran, like some of us, woohoo, who need a refresher course and maybe an energetic refresher. So no matter what, you are in good shape. I just want to remind everybody to mute yourself. And if they don't, Britta, you can just mute everybody and then I'll unmute.
Yeah,
that might be
do that. Actually, Skylar, I may have to make you a co-host because I can't share. I forgot on my computer. I got a new computer and it's not
doing the PowerPoint.
It's not sharing. No.
Okay.
I'm going to mute everybody first of all. Hold on. And then go ahead and unmute yourself. And then while you do that, I'm going to find you and make you a co-host.
Cool.
Actually, your host.
I am. My goodness. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Hey, no worries.
Really?
So I'm gonna give you one free tip, no extra charge for this one, but a lot of people utilize social media, okay? And your stories speak volumes to people. So I'm gonna encourage you at some point during this class tonight to take a little screenshot, do a boomerang, a video, whatever, put that in your stories, because what that communicates to your followers is that you're studying something. You are doing something at night other than watching Wheel of Fortune, which I know is on right now. And I would win if we were competing, just for the record, okay? You are doing something different. You are swimming upstream. And when you tell your friends that, it piques their curiosity. You don't have to tell them what we're studying or who we are, but it literally makes people wonder. And that is a good sales technique. So there you go. Okay, Sandy can't see us, but she can hear us. So we'll go with that for now, Sandy. Hopefully you'll be able to get your camera up and running. Okay, so let's try this. We're going to try to do a little screen share here. And I honestly have not done this for a darn long time. So give me just a second.
Go to the very bottom. Go to the very bottom.
Yep. I've got that. I want to make it.
Now, if you go to the very bottom and hit the little button at the, yes, that one.
That should work. Woo! That's beautiful. Okay, so you can rearrange our faces so that they're not in the way. All right, perfect. So let's see here. I don't see the notes anymore, Britta, but maybe, can you see those on your end?
Yeah.
Okay, then we are good to go. And I think, hold on here. Let's start at the very beginning, shall we? Add your name and team name here. Ha, that's amazing. I'm Skyla Mann, and my team name is the Healthwise Heroes. Britta Demler, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Britta Demler, and my team name is the Developing Wellness. So,
and Danielle, do you want to?
You may have put her on the spot already twice.
Oh,
so
I'm
she
sorry.
may not want to join us again. All right, you guys, so we're going over this book tonight. Thankfully, the writer of the book, or the authors, Eric and Tammy, have created this PowerPoint as well. So we are going to talk for about 15 minutes. We're going to go through the first chapter, which is all about sharing. And then we're going to open it up for discussion. And this is where you come in and you get to play a part, okay? So Danielle, if you want to say anything, you can go ahead and unmute yourself now. Okay. Well, all right, Skyla.
Okay. So this is our agenda for this evening, folks. We're going to do a little overview of the 5 pillars. Tonight's sole focus is on sharing. And just in case you weren't aware, if you want to build a business with Young Living, you are going to learn to share in some capacity. It might be face-to-face, it might be on the phone, it might be on social media, but somehow you have to let the world know what your story is, okay? So that's what we're going to dive into tonight. And welcome. So I will share just a smidge about my story for those of you that maybe we haven't connected yet. I joined Young Living in 2007 because I was looking for a solution, and actually a solution came looking for me, really. I was just getting ready to open a piano studio, and I had about 45 students coming into our house from all these different elementary schools. And I was super excited about that part, but I was not excited about becoming the petri dish of Lord only knows what from 8 different schools. So I ran into a neighbor on the sidewalk. We were talking about what I did or was going to start doing for a living. And she said, you don't have to worry about that stuff. You just need to get some thieves in your life. And I was so not on the same page as her that I kind of gave her that look like, thieves is not something I generally invite into my house. That's exactly how much I knew about Young Living. So I say I have enrollment amnesia. I truly do not remember enrolling. I must have given her a credit card. She must have gone home and done it because I don't think I did it. Nonetheless, I got a starter kit. I started diffusing thieves in the piano studio. And I remember I put thieves soap in the bathroom, and the kids came in the door. They took their shoes off. They went to the bathroom, washed their hands, and they sat down at their pianos. And that went on for 4 years beautifully. Trust me when I say we had kids of all different health statuses come to lessons, and our family did not suffer because of that. So we used the products for 5 years. Then we were introduced to the business. And then I had a lot of stories to share after that point. And so I was excited to start talking about how Young Living had impacted our life. And it just so happens that a lot of people were ready to hear how we could help them in their life naturally. So it went from there.
Okay. And I'm Britta Dimmler. You know, and I'll get into more of our story later, but I didn't want to get into this. And when we got in because of my husband, he wanted to do it. And then I shared his stories. So know that you don't have to have all the stories or have tried all the products to share. You just need to hear some stories, believe them, right? Believe what's possible, and then share one thing with somebody. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. All right. So the 5 pillars we're going to talk about, we're often asked how to be successful with Young Living. People often say, just tell me what to do and I will do it. I have said that before. I've heard several of you say that before. And the truth is, success in this business is based on some simple principles and activities. And these are the 5: share, follow up, educate, serve, and build. And we can make it as simple, keep it as simple, or make it as complicated as we want, but you will grow faster when we keep it simple. We need to focus our activities on these 5 pillars every day, every week, every month, and then you will have a successful business, because it's just going to happen that way. Even if you only have, 15 minutes or an hour a day to invest in your business, using these pillars in a focused and intentional manner will help you move your business forward. And the key is to be consistent in your efforts every week. We have to keep doing it. And never give up, because you guys, there are times, even, especially my first 5 years, and I was kind of sharing, but not really purposefully sharing. There were many times I was like, I'm done. There was a time when I was gold, and I still remember clearly calling Sonia and saying, I am done. I was losing gold rank. I had worked, I think I'd probably done 30 classes that month, maybe not, maybe 25 classes that month. And I was losing my rank, and I called her and I said, I'm done. I've worked my tail off. This isn't fun anymore. And she said, Britta, Just hang on. The work you're doing today, you're going to get paid on in 90 days. And I said to her, I better, or I'm out of here. And you guys, I did. In 90 days, I had reclaimed gold, and I think we were almost platinum at that point. Because again, the work I'm doing today, I'm not going to get paid on it tomorrow, maybe not even next month, because I have to, once I get some, we share and we follow up and they join, we have to educate, we have to help them keep using, right? And that's when that residual income keeps coming in. So if we want to measure, let's see, we want to measure that no matter what your skill set is or your personality. So whether you're extrovert or introvert, red, blue, yellow, green, whatever color you are, whatever Enneagram you are, you can be successful with all of these pillars. Okay. So if that's your story that, well, I'm not, I used to say, well, I'm not like Skyla. I'm not like super energetic and inviting people in, and that's just not who I am. I trained myself to start developing some of that energy, right? I made myself, instead of sitting down and being relaxed like I normally would, I made myself get up and when I do a class, I rarely sit, because if I sit, then I'm tired. I feel tired, right? If I stand up, I can move, I can get my energy up. So we can learn these skill sets, and anybody can truly be successful by following these pillars. And it's the principle that matters, not how you do it. So if you like face-to-face, awesome. If you want to connect via technology or social media, that is all up to you, and all of it works. Okay. There's not one right way to do this. There's one road to diamond, and that's yours. Okay. It's not mine. We're not asking you to replicate or to duplicate and be exactly like me and Skyla, because if you know us, we are very different. And Danielle is different than both of us too. And we all made it to diamond, but nobody else on our team is exactly like us. Okay. And so find your own way and find what works for you. So, let's see, with sharing, you'll see ownership rise up, and you own your business, not anybody else's. All right, Skyla, go ahead.
All right, so let's talk about what the benefits are of sharing here. We all, I think, are born with an innate ability to doubt. And when we hear about things from trusted friends or from trusted acquaintances, whatever it is that we're sharing is way, way more credible. So check this out. 83% of people believe recommendations of family and friends. So when Britta was talking about, she may not be just like me, that's a good thing, because if Britta tried to be exactly like me, her family and friends would be like, Britta, what's going on there? You do not quite seem like yourself. And so people want to join the real you, the authentic you. You truly are the CEO of your business. So be 100% you.
Okay. So and you guys, there's a reason why people want to know how many stars a product has on Amazon, and they read customer reviews before selecting what free app to download, right? On the phone. Trusting other people's opinions and feedback about a product, person, or service has a huge impact on our decisions. And, we have a simple phrase, Skyline, back a couple slides, sorry. Simple phrase, love it, share it. And that's really what this all comes down to is just loving it and sharing it. So if there's nothing more natural than raving about a new movie you enjoyed, a book that moved you deeply. In fact, you guys, I was given a book just last week by somebody. I was going through an issue, and I was talking to somebody, and he said, this book really helped me in understanding this issue. And so I said, well, can I borrow it? And he let me bring it home. I started reading it. And within 2 days, I have told three or four people about this book, right? I'm not being paid, but I'm like, this book is impacting my life. It is resonating with me. It's helping me through this huge issue I'm facing right now. And I'm just sharing. That's what we do. And when we have a story, because I have a story about this, it's natural to share. And people hear that well, and it's not really an excitement that I have about it because it's a pain point, right? But they want to relate, they relate to that. So think about that with your oils, okay? Or with whatever your stories are, and really get concise with that and specific about it. And, you know, I think it's going to make a huge difference, because when we share things that are important to us, people feel that authenticity. Okay, so how to share, Skylar, the next one, sorry. There's lots of different ways to share, and really there's no perfect way, you guys. It's however relates best for you. If you're comfortable, you know, well, really it's just straightforward. So connect with somebody that you care about. Sharing is a way to help people, to show people how much you really care about them. We share the product or business with them. I think we have to get back to sharing the business, or start sharing the business, maybe is really what we should say, because so many of us are great at sharing product, but we don't tell anybody, hey, there is a business side to this. And it's a pretty amazing business side. And there are so many opportunities here, you know, but to help them figure out what is it that would make a difference for them financially. It might be $100, right? It might be enough to just get my product paid for. And that, if that's where they're at, if that, you know, some of us we might have huge dreams, but we have convinced ourselves for way too long that I don't deserve this, or I really can't have the big dream, right? And so we need to start where people are and help them achieve that little dream that we might consider a little dream, or that they even say, I know this is just little, but we have to help them achieve that. And then the dream gets bigger, and then it gets bigger, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Because I always said, oh yeah, I want to be a Royal Crown Diamond, but I never ever believed I could be a Royal Crown Diamond until probably I hit platinum. And, you know, that was a lot of years between saying, oh yeah, I'd like to do that. And my story in my head was like, but I'll never do that. And you guys, some of you might relate to that. Some of you might be like, oh yeah, I really would like to earn $5,000 a month, but I can't do that. I'm not that type of person. I don't have that, you know, I don't have the people, or I don't have whatever. So we're going to help you work through some of those stories that you're telling yourself, and going back just to the basics of, I'm just sharing with one person. That's all I need to do today, is share with one person or one group of people. So we're going to share the products, help them get started, show them how to do the same. And don't be afraid to mention subscription. But we all have an intuition. Let your intuition guide you. So play to your strengths, be willing to take risks, try new things, learn new skills. And, you know, there's some great options there on how to share. If Skyla had her notes, this would be so much better, you guys, but you're going to get it.
It's okay. It's going to work. Do you want me to share some more of those ideas?
Sure.
Okay, so let's talk about practicality, about what this sharing thing might actually look like. So how many of you have ever met one-on-one in a coffee shop with somebody for the explicit purpose of talking about Young Living? Anybody done that? Okay. I did that just about 3 hours ago. And it felt so good to sit across the table from somebody and get to share why we love what we do. Okay. You can share samples. You can use the samples that Young Living puts together that look so professional. I do not have any of those within reach. They're behind me. But if somebody has one, you can hold it up. They come in those little foil wrapped pouches, and they're already branded. They're beautiful. They're kind of a one-time use thing, because once you tear the top off, it's hard to contain that. But those are wonderful. They also mail really, really well. Here's another way that you can easily share. Anytime you're invited to a baby shower, a bridal shower, if you have children and you want to give the teachers a thank you gift, Valentine's Day is coming up. Instead of giving them a box of chocolates, why not give them a little bottle of hand sanitizer with a red bow on it? I'm sure you can come up with some clever rhyme that would make it just as cute of a Valentine as candy. The idea, though, you guys, is to get our products into the hands of people who need to experience them. Because I don't know about you, but for me, when I have a firsthand experience of the power of these oils, it changes everything. It's different than looking at a website. It's different than looking at a a catalog or a brochure. When you can feel the power of the oils, like for instance, peppermint on the back of your neck, you can't read about that and experience what that feels like. So get the products into their hands. Now let's talk about social media. How many of you guys utilize social media? Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, any of those? That is your opportunity to share your story. And I'm not just talking about your Young Living story, but when people watch your social media, they should feel like, oh, I know a little bit about their life, even if they've never met you. Now that may freak some of you out, but to each their own. Operate in your comfort zone. But the truth is, you have to be authentically you. Don't make up some facade, because someday they're going to meet you in person. It's going to be real hard to take all that back if you have been putting out a false, personification. So try your best to avoid the temptation to copy and paste. We want to hear your voice, and we want to understand your life. So social media is a completely free space to advertise. So use it to connect with both your warm market and your cold market. Okay. Now this one is a little scary, but it's fun. When you go to the gym or you go to the grocery store or you're at a restaurant and a waiter or waitress comes up, initiate a conversation. Be human, talk to them. Okay, this is one of my absolute favorite things to do. And I have even demonstrated this for my team when we've gone out for team dinners. I literally do live coaching. I know I saw Tina and Lisa on here. I'm not sure who else is here, but we absolutely did this at Diamond Bound when we were in Branson. And it was a very interesting learning experience. There's no better chance to get to know someone and to practice than to initiate a conversation. And here's the secret bonus. If it bombs, you leave and you probably will never see the person again anyway. Okay. So go ahead and practice. It's all good. I literally have sat next to someone on an airplane, and when we landed at the airport, I've gotten a Zyto scanner out of my bag and run a scan on them. That has happened before. Okay. So talk about a captive audience. When you're sitting next to somebody, they can't get up and wander around the cabin for 2 hours while you're on a flight. They're going to hear some stories. Use your oils everywhere. Okay. If I were to take you to court, would there be enough evidence for me to determine that you are an oil user? Is there evidence in your life that you use these things, or are you a closet user? I would say you've got to use them in public. It piques people's curiosity, just like the post you're going to put in your stories tonight. It makes people wonder what in the world you've got going on. What do you know? Okay. So easy ways to do that publicly. I mean, you guys, when I started, there was never a day that I bought groceries that I didn't put some Stress Away or some peppermint on the back of my neck in this grocery store line, especially if there was a young, tired mom behind me. And it wasn't because I was stressed or had a sore neck, but I knew if they could smell those things, they were going to ask me questions. I just knew it. You turn around and you smile and you give them one of those looks like, man, I know. And pretty soon they're like, what is that? And by golly, I happen to have enough to share. Isn't that crazy? So just don't be afraid. And if that fails, don't worry. When you go to the parking lot, you're going to go your separate ways. It's going to be fine. Online classes are great. Everybody and their dog knows how to run Zoom now. Okay. We can write one of two stories about that. We can either say, oh, I'm zoomed out, Skyla. I can never do another Zoom again. Well, you're here. Congratulations. Or you can write the story that says, everybody and their dog knows how to run Zoom now. So guess what? I don't have to waste time explaining to them how to click the link. They just know how to do it. So now is your time to really hone in on your skills of doing those online classes, okay? And if you don't know how to do them, partner up with a friend, a cross line, an up line, a down line, a sideline, I don't care what, and do it together because it's more fun together. I promise. Okay, and the last tip here is to stretch yourself, go out of your comfort zone and join some new activities. I was actually listening to a book this week. It is so good. It's called The Hope Quotient. And like Britta said, she's been recommending a book. I have literally told so many people this week, you've got to read The Hope Quotient. It is a life-changing book. And one of the things that this author talked about was in order to prolong our literal life expectancy, if you want to live longer, you need to join groups, social groups. And at his church, they even ran a campaign that said, join a small group or die, which is a little extreme. But the point was, your life expectancy is cut shorter when you live in isolation. So if for no other reason, Young Living business aside, to make your brain and your heart healthier, get out of your house, go join a group, learn how to play pickleball, or join a water yoga class. I don't know, can you do yoga? Probably not. Water aerobics class. Don't do yoga in the pool, you'll drown. Join a crocheting club or a book club or whatever. It doesn't matter. Search yourself. What do you love to do? Maybe you want to volunteer at the Animal Rescue League or whatever, but join some groups, because when you start mixing and mingling with other people, you're going to exchange new stories. Do you see how this works? If we live in a vacuum, no wonder we get down, because we're sick of our own stories. We have to go meet new people that go, wow, I didn't know that could happen. And then we suddenly feel like our stories have value again, which they always did, but we told ourselves they didn't. Okay. So Britta, back to you, my friend.
All right. So you guys, those of you who are like, oh, okay, I don't know, I missed out on a couple of them. They're all in the book. Okay. It's all right here.
You think I was making those up?
If you have the book, you can just get it out, and we want you to read the book if you have it. Okay. It wasn't required, but it really is good. This is a great resource and just a great reminder for you. So we're going to, and speaking of resources, there are resources that we have. We all have classes and scripts on our pages, right? In our own individual groups. Right now, I think Danielle is in the We Love Ningxia group too. You guys, join the Ningxia challenge. Start talking about the Ningxia challenge. Post a thing here and there about, on your stories about, hey, I'm drinking my Ningxia, or this, grab a graphic or whatever. Invite people in. They can grab the Ningxia kit and get started. And all you have to do is invite them to this, right? You just, you don't have to even teach them. We're going to teach them for you all about Ningxia. Just help them get into the group. So another amazing resource, and this is actually, Skylar, if you want to flip to the next screen, the author's daughter actually created a amazing website called Simplified Oiler. And I think it's like for $79. She has class scripts, which are great. They're outlined, so you get to write them for yourself. She has beautiful pictures and so many of them. She has the IPA like calendars. So if you don't know what to be doing, you can just follow, and she only gives you a little bit each month at first, because it's not like, not to overwhelm you, but to say, okay, I need to breathe and I need to work through this, and this is my goal. The game plan book and workbook. There's a whole class script book. Teach textable classes, Young Living catalog. You can just go over that. There are books. You guys, I was listening to Leslie Burris's Brand Partner Academy, right? And she was talking about do a class where I'm just talking about Christmas spirit, because that's what's on my desk right now. So I could tell you about, man, I love to use this oil because it just smells, you know, it's like some days, especially in the middle of winter, and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired and I'm sick of the snow and it's so cold. And, you know, I just hate this, but I put some Christmas spirit in my diffuser and all of a sudden I have a smile on my face because I'm bringing up happy memories of Christmas. And I'm thinking, oh, I can breathe and my kids are nicer to me. And, you know, whatever your story is, that could be your whole class. Right? We don't have to make this a big, scary, okay, I'm going to do a big presentation. Keep it simple, whatever it is, whatever that looks like for you. So those are just a few resources, but check with your upline, check with your, you know, one of the, your diamond or whoever, so that we can help you get you connected as well. Skylar, what's next?
Teaching others to share. This is fun. This is where the duplication comes into play. And can I tell you a really quick story? This is not in the book. I'll try to make it real fast. How many of you have heard the age-old story about the man that walked along the beach and picked up a starfish and threw it back in the water? You know this one? Okay, I'm just going to trust that you're all nodding your heads. Okay, so I heard an updated version of this story today. And yes, it came from the Hope Quotient. That's all that I've been reading today. And this young girl was walking along and she was taking pictures with her iPhone of every starfish. And the old man came up to her and he said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "I'm tweeting pictures of these starfish so that we can save them." And he was about ready to launch into a lecture about what a waste of time that was to spend it on social media. And then she reached down and she picked one up and she threw it back in the water. And all of a sudden, hundreds of her friends came to the beach. And within an hour, they had saved all the starfish. And the old man said, "That is amazing. That is true power." So when you can share successfully yourself, that's great. But what about the power of teaching others to share? Think of the reach and the breadth and the depth that your team will have when it's not solely just about you. So we want to focus on replicating these skills, okay? Help your members identify what they're good at. What are their talents? What do they naturally show giftedness in? And then work within that wheelhouse of strengths, okay? You want each of your members, and if you don't have a member yet, then I'm speaking directly to you as if you were my member, okay? You want each of your members to use their own strengths, not to copy you, okay? We want to keep it simple. So continue reviewing those steps from sharing that we talked about. It's a cycle. We just do it over and over, okay? Use the available resources rather than reinventing the wheel. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's so easy to get caught up in this when we want our work time to be about creating resources and content as opposed to plugging into all the tools that are already there. Okay, I know that each of your diamond leaders have made plenty of things available for you to be successful. You do not have to create another thing. Make a promise to yourself tonight that you won't be tempted to create anything until you are at least a platinum. Just get there and then say, okay, now I want to make a worksheet or I want to make a PowerPoint. Now I'll give myself permission to do that. But until then, utilize all the stuff that's on the Young Living website, utilize everything that's in your team pages. And if you can't find something, just ask, because I bet we can point you to it. Okay. Communicate that sharing does not need to be in person or through teaching a big class, but it can happen in many ways, including social media. Okay, send your people online resources, tag them in a video, share samples. In other words, become more efficient in how you disseminate information. You do not have to type out your own testimony every time somebody asks you about thieves. What if you typed it once and then you did copy and paste from the notes section in your phone? Would that work? I bet it would. Set reasonable expectations for when you share. This is very important for our mindset, okay? When you get a no, and from time to time that will happen, it usually means not right now. No's are rarely forever. How many of you, put this in the chat box if you would, how many of you have ever shared with someone and they didn't enroll immediately, but maybe a year later, those people came around and asked some questions and perhaps even became a customer or a brand partner? Danielle says that's happened to her. How about that? Okay, thank you, Gloria and Alice. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people have had that happen. So would you please remember that when you get a no, just tell yourself in your head, it's not no forever, it's not right now. Okay, if you can practice that story, it won't sting quite so much when you hear it. Okay, no is not personal. It's no to the product right now. It's not no to you. It doesn't mean they never want to see your face again. Okay, we can make up stories. Oh boy, we're good at that. Okay, but don't internalize it to mean something that it doesn't mean. Okay. Some people, a lot of us, need to hear the message a whole 7 times before we buy. So have you had 6 no's from somebody? I mean, that doesn't sound like fun, but the reality is we have to continue putting those offers in front of people because Lordy only knows what they've got going on in the background the first 3 times you ask, right? Give people extra grace. Give them as much as you want. And then most importantly, please, please, please share from your heart. That is the entire foundation that Young Living is built on, you guys. And I was reminded of that, as I'm sure Danielle and Britta were too, when we were just in Utah last week. Our company is so unique because we are founded on true servanthood. And I felt it tangibly in all of the corporate staff that I had a chance to visit with and those that I saw in action. We really are unique. And if you can share from your heart, you will be representing Young Living real well. Okay. And I think people will feel that and they will respond accordingly. Britta.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. Here's your action steps, you guys. And it's not a surprise. It's in the book if you have it. But we're going to add one. We're going to actually add 2 extra things. So between now and next week, we want you to share one new way this week. If you always share it over coffee, we want you to try maybe sharing, I don't know, through social media, right? Or if you're only sharing through social media, actually, maybe you want to pick up the phone and like make a phone call, right? My daughter would be like, no phone calls. There's definitely Gen Y does not like phone calls, but maybe they do that. Maybe you send a text message, whatever it looks like for you. Okay. So just try one thing, one new way this week, record your activity and result. And then we want you to repeat it because it's not just a one and done thing. Well, it can be if you want to grow really, really, really slow. Okay. If you want to do something and start stirring up positive energy and bringing abundance to you, the more we put out, the more we will get back, right? So start sharing with people, start contacting, and just add a friend, be friendly to people. That's really all it takes is being friendly. So that's the first thing. Second thing is we have a challenge for you. Okay. So we're going to give you a couple weeks, but we want specifically Skyla and I, and Danielle, hopefully you're going to be all in on this. I think you will be. And you will get to well, hopefully you'll have more input next week. Between February 1 and February 7th, which would be the first week of February, the 7th is the night of Infuse. Okay. We want everyone on here to have done at least one sharing opportunity, ideally a class, because yes, you can share one-on-one and it is amazing and you can get results, but you guys, you're going to exponentially grow your results when you share in a class. For one thing, if you have people that are already members, you will have social proof there. If you allow them to share their stories, that it's not just you teaching this saying, oh yeah, this works, this is going to be great. You're going to have other people that are like, oh, I use this too. And people will be like, what, really? Right? So there's social proof. Also, you can present to 5 people just as easily as you can to 1. And if they all get started, or as you follow up, they will all get started. And then your team's going to grow that much bigger. So we would love though to have a concerted effort of we're just doing at least one class. You can do more between specifically February 1 through the 7th. So 6:30 p.m. on February 7th. And then we're going to combine anybody who's done a class. And if you've done 5 classes, you get 5 entries. We're going to give away a product credit. Okay. I don't know, Skylar, did we set an amount? It'll be a surprise because it'll be worth it though. I promise. It's not going to be some $5 product credit, you guys. It will be worth it. Maybe it'll be however many, well, I don't know. I mean, like if we had 100 classes, maybe we'll do 2 $50 product credits or something. Or if we have 20 classes, we'll do a $20 product credit. How about that? So the more classes we do and that we show up on the 7th, that will at least be the product credit. Okay. Okay. So that's our big thing, is that we want to do that. And then probably in February, and you guys, I'm just going to give you a little heads up. February is Young Living is bringing some major excitement come February 1. So when we say you want to get your classes on the schedule, there's a reason. Okay. So get your classes on the schedule, get contacting people, because in February 1, when it comes out, you're going to be like, oh, this is what they were talking about. This is why they want us to do this. The more we get the wheel in motion now, the more it's going to roll once February hits. And once, we keep going. So the momentum will come, but it's time to start now. Okay. So those are the 2 things. And then the third thing is we have a Marco Polo group. We would love to have you join us, because then we can talk about the wins, hey, I just shared today. They didn't join yet, but they are excited. Right. Or gosh, I shared and they shot me down and I feel like crying right now. And I don't, I want to quit. We can come in and we can support you through that. So we have a Marco Polo group. It's called Infuse. We will put a link. I'll go grab it right now. Skyla, if you want to quit sharing the screen, and I'll put it in the comments, and you guys can join. And you can join even if you don't want to show your picture, because I know some people are like, I don't do videos. You can still just join and voice record. Okay. And you might have to look at our faces, sorry, but you don't have to show your face if that's something that you don't want to do. So we are going to open this up now. Should I stop the recording or continue the recording for open discussion on what you guys are struggling with, what aha moments you've had, what excitement you have, anything like that? Skylar, what do you think?
I'd end the recording. That's